God is good, y'all, ain't he? All right, my name's Jonathan. Can God forgive a sinner like me? I was born into two real Christian families. One was Church of Christ, one was Southern Baptist, so it's kind of a pull either way. Um, I grew up knowing who Jesus was. I grew up knowing who God was. That was something that was instilled in us. And we were reprimanded several times for not doing what God wanted us to do. It wasn't until my adult life that I got into drugs, breaking the law, and I made it fun. It was fun to run from the cops. It was fun to get high. What wasn't fun was the time that it took me away from my family, from the things that truly mattered. During my addiction, God was the furthest thing from my mind. It didn't matter how many times someone told me I needed to get into church. It didn't matter how many times someone told me I needed to pray. I didn't have time for that. And I definitely didn't think God could forgive me for what I'd done. September of last year, I got arrested and ended up facing some serious time. And it was in there that I picked up my Bible, and I began to read. But the question, can God forgive a sinner like me, always went through my mind. But also the question of, could everybody else forgive me too, was going through my mind. But I stayed in my Bible while I was in jail, and then ended up coming to Hope Center. And through Hope Center and I Am Worship, because every Hope Center's got a church, but they don't have I Am Worship. I've been to several churches. None of them are like this. The love, the compassion, the way y'all help us is nothing like it. But this is the stuff that I've researched to show me that I can be forgiven. In Exodus chapters 31 through 34, the people of Israel made a golden calf while Jesus was making the Ten Commandments. While Moses was making the Ten Commandments. And it angered God. But Moses stood up for him and kept God from breaking those commandments. Well, when he went down off the mount and he saw the golden calf and saw him worshiping it, Moses himself broke the Ten Commandments and then had to go back to God. And instead of it angering God, God just told Moses, make me another set of tablets identical to the first ones, and I'll write it again. And he forgave them, and he still gave them the land that they promised. In 2 Samuel 12, God forgives David for adultery and murder. He punishes him, but in the end, he allows David's family to still reign over Israel as kings. In John chapter 21, verses 15 through 19, Peter is forgiven for denying Christ 3 times. Even though Christ told him that you will forgive me, and Peter denied it, then he still did it. But in the end, Jesus went back, and Peter proved his love to Jesus and was left to preach the word, left to run the church for Jesus in his absence, or after he ascended to heaven. And then the biggest person of all that a lot of people don't know is Paul. Paul, at a young age, blasphemed against Christ. He tried to prove that he was a fraud, that he was a fake, and that what he's saying wasn't true. But in the end, Paul became one of the biggest influencers in the Bible, going around and spreading the message of Christ and all the great miracles that he's done. So, after these 4 people in the Bible that the Lord has forgiven over the things that they have done, I've learned that not only has God forgiven me, but I have been saved and born again. That I know I am forgiven. Acts chapter 2, verse 21 says, everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. I know I'm truly saved through Christ and through God. Pastor Mark, I'm going to take something you told me the other day, and it goes with the cross. If you ever notice how the cross is longer this way than it is this way. My worry is I could be forgiven by everybody else and God is no longer a problem, because the cross is shaped like that for one reason. Because as far as the people go, that's not the greatest importance of all. It's being forgiven by Christ. I thank Hope Center for everything they've done. They've gave me truly given me hope to know that I can succeed, that I can live a better life. They're showing me a way to do it. I appreciate Hope. I Am Worship for everything y'all do. Y'all truly made me feel at home. That's all I got. Thank you.